Hello everyone. So again today let's discuss the next topic of anatomy of flowering plant, that is the types of leaves, okay, and the internal structure of monocot and dicot leaf. So when we are talking about types of leaf, so definitely we find dorsiventral, isobilateral and unifacial leaves. So based on their different positions, their structure, these are divided into different types. So unifacial leaves are actually cylindrical leaves, so they are not actually distinguished into upper and lower surface, okay, as in case of allium. Then isobilateral leaves, they have two surfaces, but the distinction of upper and lower leaf is absent. Again, in dorsiventral leaf, these are bifacial. That means here one side is darker and other side is lighter. That means both the upper and lower surfaces are properly distinguished. So, based on their distinction of the upper and lower surface, there are three types. In unifacial, it is cylindrical without any distinction into upper and lower surface. In isobilateral, so there what happens, the leaves, they have two distinct parts but they are not distinguished into proper upper and lower, whereas in dorsiventral leaf both the sides are properly distinct. So first of all, now discuss about the dorsiventral leaf. So as you can see, this is the internal structure of a dorsiventral leaf. So these leaves are flattened structures with dark upper and or adaxial surface which faces the sun, and the lower surface, it is facing towards the earth, okay. So their position is in that particular manner in the plant. Here the veins are prominent. Now these particular leaves in their anatomy, they show distinct and different regions. So the first region is the upper epidermis. As you can see, this is the upper epidermis. This epidermis, as we have studied earlier, it is the outer covering, okay, which consist of uniseriate cells. The cells are compactly arranged and here no intercellular spaces are present. In these cells, chloroplasts are also absent. The epidermal cells, they are normally rectangular, barrel shaped in outline. They are specialized to condense and transmit light rays to the interior. The outer walls are thick as compared to the inner walls and they consist of a cuticle layer, okay, which checks the excessive loss of water. Now next to the upper epidermis is the lower epidermis. As you can see, the cells are similar, okay, they're rectangular cells without intercellular space, but these are not continuous. They are interrupted by stomatal apertures, okay. That means stomata are present which are meant for transpiration and gaseous exchange. So these are not continuous. Then next to the stomata, after upper and lower epidermis, we find the mesophyll tissue. So already earlier we have discussed about mesophyll tissue. These are chlorenchyma containing cells. That means these particular cells have large amount of chloroplast for which they can perform photosynthesis. Now this mesophyll cell is divided into two layers, the palisade parenchyma and the spongy parenchyma. The palisade parenchyma, these are columnar cells. They are compactly arranged. They contain lots of chlorophylls, whereas the spongy parenchyma, these are oval shaped cells. They are loosely arranged and they also contains chlorophyll. These two are the main sites of photosynthesis in the leaves, okay. Then as you can see in the diagram, the palisade parenchyma is just next to the, immediately it is next to the upper epidermis, whereas the spongy parenchyma, it is present between the lower epidermis and the palisade parenchyma. Now after this comes the vascular strand or the vascular system. Now as usual, it will have xylem and phloem tissues, okay. It is made up of number of vascular bundles. These are present in the central position, that is the midrib position. Now each vascular bundle is surrounded by a sheath which is known as the bundle sheath, okay. As you can see, this particular cells, these are the bundle sheath extensions. This is the proper bundle sheath surrounding the vascular cells. The vascular bundles consist of xylem and phloem and they are conjoined collateral. Okay, that means xylem lies towards the upper part, phloem towards the lower part. This is upper part xylem, lower part phloem, so it is conjoined collateral. So here the vessels and tracheids, they conduct water and mineral salts. Xylem parenchyma stores the food and water. Xylem fibers, they provide additional strength to the leaf. Similarly, phloem also, it is made up of sieve tube, companion cell, phloem parenchyma. They also help in conduction of food and plus storage of food. Then the bundle sheath cells, they consist of sclerenchyma fibers. Okay, the bundle tissues, vascular bundles, they have sclerenchyma fibers which provide mechanical strength to the particular leaves. After this, next to this is the midrib portion. Midrib means the central axis, okay, which is absent in the region of, now mesophyll cells are normally absent. If we consider this to be the midrib portion, so here you can see here mesophylls are absent. Okay, they are collenchymatous or sclerenchymatous cells. They occurs towards the two epidermal layers. They provide mechanical support and plus they help in conduction of substances from one part to the other. Okay, so these are the main regions of a dorsiventral leaf. That means upper epidermis, which is uninterrupted, continuous, lower epidermis, which is interrupted by stomata. Beneath the upper epidermis is the palisade parenchyma, which consists of columnar chlorophyll containing cells. Next to this is the spongy parenchyma. Middle portion vascular bundles are present. These are conjoined collateral, phloem towards the lower part, xylem towards the upper part. Sclerenchyma cells are there and these vascular bundles are surrounded by the bundle sheath cells. Okay, and surrounding them are also bundle sheath extensions. So this is the overall structure of the dicot leaf or the dorsiventral leaf. Now next one, as you can see, this is the monocot leaf, okay, or the isobilateral leaf. So these particular leaves, their two surfaces are equally liable to face the sun. So here the different components in the anatomy are epidermis, mesophyll, vascular strand and midrib. Now epidermis, it is the outer covering, okay, outer layer which protects the internal tissue. Now both these outer epidermis and upper epidermis and lower epidermis, both are not continuous. They are interrupted by stomata, okay, which are meant for gaseous exchange and transpiration. So as in dorsiventral leaf, here both the surfaces contains stomata. Okay, apart from these, some epidermal cells, they enlarge. These are known as the bulliform cells or the motor cells. They become flaccid when water is deficient. Okay, so they help the leaves to overcome the drought condition. So they get deposited with water, whatever is present. So that's why they protect the plant from getting dried up. So these are the bulliform cells which are present in isobilateral leaves. Now, stomata which occur on both the surfaces. That's why this is also known as amphistomatic. Okay, some stomata may be dumbbell shaped also. As in case of Poaceae and Cyperaceae, we know that those stomata are dumbbell shaped, not like the others. Then after that we come to the mesophyll cells. Here the mesophyll cells are all similar. As you can see, oval or round shaped structure, small intercellular spaces are present. They contains abundant chloroplast and so they can perform photosynthesis. Then next is the vascular strand. The vascular strand, it is consists of the xylem and phloem tissues. Okay, so here bundle sheath is also present. Then the double bundle sheath occurs in case of wheat and some cereals also. Then it is known as the festucoid grasses. The larger vascular bundles bear bundle sheath extensions also. As you can see, these are the extensions. Okay, so here Metaxylem, protoxylem are present. The protoxylem are present towards the upper part, metaxylem towards the lower part, and towards the lower epidermis portion the phloem is present, and the whole vascular bundle is surrounded by bundle sheath. But in the bundle sheath, protoxylem cavity is present here. Okay, this is a different structure, this is a different structure. So when you are studying about the structures or comparing the structures of dicot and monocot, whether it is root, leaf or stem, so definitely what happened, you have to see the differences in them. Then here we see the Kranz anatomy. That means the bundle sheath cells, they contains larger chloroplasts for which they become distinct from the other parts, and so we call it as the Kranz anatomy. Then next is the midrib portion, which is the widest and thickest part of the leaf. It occurs in the region of other larger veins. So here the mesophyll cells are absent, and these are basically meant for conduction. Now here the vascular bundle is conjoined collateral closed because cambium is not there, so conjoined collateral closed. Okay, so hope this two types of anatomy of the leaves are clear to you. Go through it properly, the diagrams and the proper each and every terms. Okay, study the comparison differences properly. If you find any problem in any line, any word, let me know.